Hi viewers, welcome to Issue Today on XPB TV Africa. Today we have a notable personality who is ever willing to share his wealth of experience with us in order to mentor the younger generation and build a better society. Dr. Donald Peterson, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
Sir, you wrote an article on Facebook. That article captivated our attention. In your article, you said, Masons don't keep your name alive. It is your good deed that will keep your name alive, that your good deed will determine if your name will be written positively or negatively in history. Is that true?
Oh, yes.
So what inspired you to write such posts?
Anyway, the inspiration came from the counseling I had for a couple about 2 weeks ago. I went to Abuja and my friend came to my house with his friend.
Okay.
Who was having some heated issues at home about the fact that the wife already had 2 girls for him and she's pregnant again. I know it was boys talk, if you want to say.
Yeah.
And saying, oh, this third one, I just want a boy, I want a male child.
Yeah.
You know, if she doesn't give me a male child, I might have to, think otherwise and all that. And it caught my attention.
Okay.
I felt, what has this innocent poor woman done? In the first place, it's not the woman that determines the sex of a child.
Exactly.
It's basically and mainly the man's job. It is what you give to the woman that she's going to give you.
That is honest truth.
I'm not a scientist, I'm just a social scientist. I know that from the study of biology, the woman, they have the X and X chromosomes, while the male has the X and Y chromosomes. And to make a male child, you need the X and Y chromosomes. So it is whatever chromosome that you donate or you pass on to the woman that the woman will bring up. She has XX, so if you send X to her, she sends her own X, so you have a girl child. If you send Y to her, she gives you her X because she has XX, and you have a boy child. So it's not really the fault of the woman. And I was so shocked that at this time and space that a man who has gone through the 4 walls of a university, he's a mathematician, will be saying this. So I took him on that and I asked him, I said, the notable people that you've known in this country, can you tell me which one you know their children? And we started from our late Prime Minister, Tafawa Balewa. And I said, we all know Tafawa Balewa today, right?
Yes, we do. Have
you heard of his sons or grandsons? And he said, no. I said, good. We've heard of Nnamdi Azikiwe. All over Africa, people know him. All over the world, when you say Nnamdi Azikiwe, most people will tell you.
Yeah.
But can you tell me the name of his son or the name of his grandson?
Yeah.
So I told him, it's not the son that makes you great or that, makes your name or keep your family name. It is your deeds. It is the work of your hands. It is how you have impacted your generation, what you have done, whether for good or for bad. That's okay. Let's leave Nigeria. Let's go to world stage. Let's start from Africa. Mandela. Can you tell me the name of Mandela's son? I was moping. I said, let's leave Africa now. Let's go to other nations. Winston Churchill. His son's name was moping. I said, go to other countries. Go to other nations. I said, so also Joseph Stalin of Russia, you know, terrible leader, but can you tell me his son's name? No.
Yeah, but sir, there is a little bit controversy in our minds.
Yeah.
Now, we've also seen that there are sons who brought out their father's name.
Oh, sure.
Like the Nnamdi Azikiwe we'll talk about, Tafawa Balawa.
Yeah.
You know, these are people's children.
Yeah.
So people are trying to imagine, if I hadn't had Nnamdi Azikiwe,
Yeah.
if I didn't have Tafawa Balawa,
Okay.
if I didn't have Nelson Mandela,
Yeah.
would there be Mandela's family? Would there be Azikiwe's family?
Great.
From another dimension we're coming now.
Okay. The way you look at it is this. Is first and foremost the name you want them to project, the name you want them to keep. They are not really keeping your name. They're about themselves, their name, and their deeds. And besides, when you look at, it's not just male children that have been able to do this. Look at strong and notable women
in the country today,
in our country, in the world stage. See what they have done.
Yes.
Okay, look at this. Indira Gandhi was a woman. If I ask you, do you know the father? Can you tell me of her sons? Yeah, one of her sons went on to become the Indian Prime Minister. But can you even remember the son's name? But when they say Indira Gandhi, you remember. You know? But when you say Rajiv Gandhi, you start thinking. But he was the Prime Minister, actually. But can you remember? Mother Teresa. The whole world knows her. You understand? So it's not about whether it's a male child or a female child. It is first having a child, inculcating the right values in your children or that child, and letting that child live out a life the way that's been ordained, while making impact on the society. And a positive impact is always remembered better.
Yeah. Now, sir, we know culture is the way of life of the people. And we as Africans, we have our culture. Sir, we have seen homes, like you said, your friend had an issue with. We have seen homes and families believe we need a male child to keep the legacy and the name of this family. How do we begin to change this mentality in our contemporary society? Because it's like a culture. You must have a male child that will take over the family names.
Okay.
So how do we eradicate and de-eradicate our mind to know that, okay, you don't need a male child to keep your name? What are the measures? How do we do this?
Okay. Don't forget that culture is meant for the people. The people are not meant for the culture.
Yeah.
And also don't forget that culture are just set of rules or ways that people came up together and agree together that this is how we want to do things and this is how we'll be doing it. Don't also forget that in the UK, very long time ago, female or a girl child is not allowed to rule. But today, you have a queen. Before her, you had queens. You understand? You know, culture is meant for the people, not the people for culture. So, as time go by, we are supposed to be able to evolve in our culture, evolve in our ways, in such a way that will suit the time that we're living in. Okay, let's go back in time. Female circumcision was the norm years back. But right now, it's no longer right. It has never been right, but then people lived with it. But would you have your girl child circumcised today? No, it's mutilation. So that side has evolved. So we also should evolve, to what is right for our time. That we shouldn't be looking at, I have to have a male for my name actually to be remembered to continue. No, for a name to be remembered has to do with what you have done, how you have impacted, the environment and society at large.
Yeah. So now, for us to have a good name, a young man, an adult who wants to have his name written on marble positively, what are these humanitarian activities you think we can indulge in to write our name positively in history? What are these things you think we can start doing as a human?
It's always good to learn from the Maker himself.
Okay.
Jesus Christ was asked, what is the greatest commandment? He said, love the Lord your God with all your heart.
Yeah.
And he said, also love your neighbor as yourself. When you show love to your neighbors, when you show love to humanity, when you serve humanity, humanity will turn around to recognize you and embrace you with that immortality.
And so, sir, I want to digress a little before we end this chat. The society we find ourselves today, it seems the norms who used to be good name is better than riches is gradually becoming no more fashionable. We've seen people emphasizing on get rich quick, people want to make money, people want to be rich. And somebody once said our teachers, our parents don't even ask us anymore how we acquire our wealth. Everybody wants their children to be wealthy. Looking at the society today, how do we begin to correct this presumed mechanism trying to change the environment when people are not looking more on moral and integrity? It's becoming more of riches. Riches is the order of the day, prosperity.
Yeah. You see, it is written that when you fail to plan, you're actually planning on failing.
Yeah.
You see, at independence, Nigeria was the most populous country in Africa and the most populous black nation. At independence, we're about 36 million thereabout. I hope my figure is correct. Now, our leaders failed to look at what and how the country will be in the next 20, 50, and 100 years. And what they ought to have done is to realize that when you have so much people, that mass of people in one country, then the issue of survival will be in the front burner.
Yeah.
The issue of welfare will be in the front burner.
Yeah.
Somehow, I think our leaders in the past failed to plan. So because they failed to plan, the whole country was now thrown into a jungle-like system where it becomes survivor of the fittest.
Yeah.
So whatever you have to do to survive, you survive,
Yeah.
which is a very wrong concept and very wrong ideology. Look at a country like Japan, where honor still holds sway.
Yeah.
Japan is a very super modern society, but still very cultural and very traditional. They've been able to keep that. Why? Because they've been able to plan for
The coming
the
generations.
coming generations.
Yeah.
But here we have failed to plan. So what we are seeing today, the chaos we are seeing today, is just a failure on the part of government to plan for our citizens. That's just what we're seeing today. And that's what has caused this pressure. Imagine over 210 million people living together in this space that housed 36 million people as an
Few years
independence.
ago, yeah.
You see? And opportunities now are so tight. Opportunities now are so scarce.
Yeah.
So that's why you see what you are seeing today.
Everybody
So-
wants to survive.
So and our religious leaders and religious but are not helping.
Yeah.
We just pick the verse of the Bible that talks about prosperity.
Yeah.
We forget the part of the Bible that talks about chastity,
Yeah.
that also talks about holiness.
Yeah.
We forgot about that. Because we've forgotten that the Bible says, without holiness, no eye shall see the Lord.
Yeah.
But we look at the part of the Bible that says, you shall be the head and not the tail.
Yeah.
That you be like a tree that is planted by the side of the river that bringeth forth its fruit in due season. That's the side we're looking at.
Yeah.
We're supposed to blend both ends of the spectrum, to be able to have a balanced teaching of the gospel. So, my take and my recommendation is this, that as parents, as leaders, we need to start inculcating the right values in our children. The Bible said, teach a child in the ways of the Lord, and when he's grown up, he will not depart from it. So early teaching, early inculcating of the right values into a child will model that child, will mold that child to be the kind of child you want. And ultimately the kind of future that we want also, while of course planning for their tomorrow is very important.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for spending this time with us. It's a
Thank you.
wonderful time having you on the program.
Thank you.
And we are glad you always give us attention when we have things we want to clarify.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We've heard from our guest today. He said, teach a child the way he will grow and he won't depart from it. He said we should start inculcating some moral values in our children and teach them to plan so that we don't have chaos and anarchy in the future. That comes to the end of today's episode of our Issues Today. My name is Scott Onayabo. Thank you for watching our program. Do not forget to follow us across all social media handles and subscribe to our YouTube channel, XPB TV Africa. Thank you.